Hi, welcome. Welcome to the News at Jen for Monday, November 16th, 2020. It's National Button Day, so make sure you click like and subscribe buttons down there. You see what I did there? I don't have any flair, so what do you want me to do? And yes, that is an Office Space reference. I realize how out of date that makes me. So here's the news. On Saturday, President Trump acknowledged reality, admitting that President-elect Joe Biden won the election. This is what alcoholics call a moment of clarity. But it wasn't much longer before the haze came back and Trump said he did not concede and that he would concede nothing. Then again, this morning he said, "I won the election." The evidence is lacking that Trump won the election. In fact, it's now obvious that I won the election. After all, you cannot prove there were not 300 million votes cast for me. Therefore, I am your president. Where's the balloons, damn it? That's better. That's better. Now, as your president, I just want to say you ought to wear a mask and probably stay home for a couple weeks. When I get legislation on my desk, I'll be approving a universal basic income to help us get through this mess and the future of automation. So, yeah, okay. Wait, I'm getting word from my imaginary earpiece that I am not president. Y'all ain't worried for me anyway. I would say that the president's histrionics are news, but it's the same thing that's been happening since the election. And now we've got to deal with the consequences. Speaking of consequences, we'll be welcoming a new class of Congress critters in January. And we're just kind of learning what kind of people our fellow Americans voted into office. One of these folks is Tommy Tuberville, the new senator from Alabama. Mr. Tuberville is unaware of the structure of the very government he is joining. Here's his quote if you want it. "Our government wasn't set up for one group to have all three branches of government. It wasn't set up that way, you know? The House, the Senate, and the executive." For the record, the legislature, judiciary, and the executive are the three branches, and the legislature includes the House and Senate. Now, Mr. Tuberville's ignorance might be acceptable if he joined a new company. I wasn't sure if it was Frank from accounts receivable or Frank from accounts payable that he was supposed to send an invoice to. But that's the dog. But this is the federal government. Mr. Tuberville is 66 years old. He allegedly went to high school. He allegedly went to university. And then he went on to allegedly live his life enmeshed in the kind of company that would encourage someone to run for the United States Senate. And he remained completely ignorant of the basic facts of our federal government. That's not all he claimed. No. He said that World War II was fought to free Europe of socialism. Of course, we all know fascism was the enemy in that war, and we fought on the same side as the commies. You know, it wasn't just in Europe. It was all over the world because it's called World War II. Then he said that Al Gore was the president-elect during the 2000 election. He's ignorant of history that occurred even in his own lifetime. And if plain ignorance wasn't enough, how about corruption? He said he planned to use his office to raise money for the upcoming Senate elections. Yeah, those in Georgia. Which is just wrong because that's against Senate ethics rules. Maybe he doesn't know the rules yet. Maybe. I'm trying to be nice to this guy. It's really hard. But the ignorance isn't limited to the Senate. Let's move on to the House, where 25-year-old Congressman-elect Madison Cawthorn, what kind of fucking name is that, said it was amazing to be in the place where, quote, "we had the vote to decide to have the Emancipation Proclamation." There was no vote for this thing. It was a proclamation, an order, almost an executive order, if you will. And then he also recently was found that he talked a lot about converting people to Jesus, including Jews and Muslims. You may remember Mr. Cawthorn when some photographs of him surfaced. They were of him visiting Adolf Hitler's vacation house in Germany. He went there at least a dozen times. Next, we have GOP Congresswoman-elect Marjorie Taylor Greene. who said Friday that masks are oppressive during orientation for incoming representatives. Now, if you think I'm just making fun of Republicans, look, Democrats ran against all these people and lost. Masks are oppressive. In probably unrelated news, coronavirus cases have increased 81% in the past 14 days to over 135,000 people a day. I'm going to have to update my coronavirus song to 94 beats per minute. Smart doorbell company Ring recalled 350,000 smart doorbells after about 24 caught fire. At first, the company refused the recall. The press release said, "We sell security, and a fire is going to keep most thieves away." This is true, but kowtowing to left-wing consumer protection laws, the company initiated the recall. I don't know why people get these. I just had to tell my kid to answer the door. She's only started the one fire. 2 fires. In entertainment news, Harry Styles raised some eyebrows in the right-wing sphere because he wore some dresses. Some noted public pseudo-intellectuals like Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens were caught clutching their pearls and positively melting like snowflakes in the sun. What was it for? For fear of letting a guy wear whatever the fuck he wants? Now, I don't want to ruffle Shapiro's perfectly coiffed hairstyle on his internet TV show, but perhaps people who have perfectly coiffed hairstyles on internet TV shows should not denigrate the state of masculinity. It's really quite telling that we never hear about Mr. Shapiro's adventures in off-road biking, base jumping, auto repair, TV, VCR repair, UFC fighting championships, deep-sea fishing, cowboying, ranching, farming, plumbing, or any pre-approved male jobs that he sure has a list of somewhere that, maybe includes talking to a camera for several hours a day. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe talking about other men and how they spend their time and relax and act and eat and work and go, "Oh gosh, did you see what that guy was wearing?" Maybe you're the one that's too concerned about others. Was the election about law, order, and gender law? And finally, I just wanted to tell you that the news agenda will continue through the rest of the year. While some slackers at the Real Time with Bill Maher and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver are taking off the rest of the year to be with theoretically friends and family, I will remain in your service, desperately seeking your likes, subscriptions, and Patreon subscriptions with the occasional witty catcalls to action. So, you could stay subscribed to HBO Go, Max Plus, Thrust Primo, or whatever it is they're calling it this week. Or you could give me a couple bucks on the Patreon /genderbent. But otherwise, I'll be here. I promise. I'll be here. I promise. Wednesday. So please like, subscribe, and remember, I love you. Do my tits look big?